Hey y'all, this video is going to be basically discussing these two cubes I have here. Well, not exactly cubes. This is a cube. This is a rectangular prism. Sorry to get all nerdy on you there, but I'm gonna be talking about these two wonderful things. And a question that I'm actually asked frequently is which one is harder? Now, most people, I think, just off of pure observation, would think that this thing is harder. It's bigger. It's taller. It's longer, laid like this. It's got more. It's got more of each color. You would think, okay, it's probably harder. Well, I'm going to be proving to you all that it's actually easier. Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess, have my own points. Just talking about them. So let's get into it. Just pure observations yet again. You'd see that this hat is 2 by 2. Okay, this is a 2 by 2 by 2 Rubik's cube. 2 on the X, 2 on the Y, and then 2 on the Z. This is a 2 by 2 by 3. If you hold it like this, it is a 2 by 2 by 3. But if you hold it like this, it's like a 2 by 3 by 2. So I just like to hold it like this because you can see more of the cube. You can see 6 tiles. But like on this, there are 24 total tiles. All right, there's 4 on 6 sides. So 4 times 6, 24. This has 32. It has 6 times 4, which is 24, plus 4 plus 4, which is 32. So this thing does have more tiles. Now let's look. Let's look at all the possible moves that you can do on this thing. You have R, all right? You have L, all right? You have U, and you have B. I'm not sure if this is B or B prime, just moving it that way. Basically clockwise, if you're looking at it like that, moving it clockwise. And then you have, no, this is not B. This is not B, this is D. D for down, and then you have F, and then this is B, which I'm pretty sure B is that. And then you also have the prime moves, which are, counterclockwise. So R prime, I was doing R prime for R. This is R prime, and then this is L, and this is L prime. And then this is D, and this is D prime. This is U, and this is U prime. This is F, and this is F prime. And this is B, and this is B prime. So there are, 12 possible different moves you can do. U prime, L prime, R prime, F prime, B prime, D prime. This thing, you can't really do that. If you hold it like this, where there's 4 on top and there's 6 in front of you, you have the U's, you have the R's, you have the L's, the D's, the F's, and the B's. Well, there's actually one more layer to this. Since it's 3, there's actually an M. So yeah, there are 14 actual combinations on this. You have U prime, LL prime, RR prime, FF prime, BB prime, DD prime, and MM prime. So yeah, you do have this other layer of movement compared to this. This doesn't have a middle. But if you actually search up on Google, this thing, like total combinations you can have on this Rubik's Cube, there's only like 240,000, which is a big number, but it really isn't compared to this, which has 3.6 million. So there are more possible combinations on this than there are on this. And the reason for that is that on like the L and R axis, you can't just move it once. Okay, you can't turn it. You can't turn it on any other axis. You have to move it twice. So you'll never go holding it like this. You'll never have an algorithm that just has like R prime. It will always be R2 or L2 or F2 and B2. So it'll always be moving it twice. So it'll always have red and yellow. You'll never have like red and blue, or yellow and green, or blue and yellow. You never have those. You'd always have white and yellow, along with, you can obviously, these colors will always pair with these and these and these, and yeah. But, on this, you can have a white and orange, you can have a white and yellow, and you can have a white and red, or you can have a white and blue, or a white and green. So there are more combinations on this. But you would think, okay, this still doesn't really tell that this is harder. But that also means that there is a limit to how many moves you can do with this, how many moves it actually takes to solve. It says it takes around 14 to solve this, and around 20 to do this. And just based on my pure knowledge of these cubes right now, I can solve this one much faster than solving this one. And I'll go through a mini process of those, I guess, right now, starting with the 2x2x3. So there is a mini process that goes into solving this. I usually solve the little layers first, so the white and yellow, and then I'll usually solve the top layer, and then the bottom layer, and then the middle layer, which I usually get confused sometimes with the middle layer. But yeah, I'll just do a quick little solve and a scramble. That's a pretty good scramble, I guess. Alright, so now we will solve. See, we already got the top side solved, and now we have this first layer solved, and then, whoops, and then we can solve the other layer that's not in the middle, obviously. Alright, and now, as you can see, we have the top and bottom layers solved. Now we just need the middle layer, and there is a little algorithm you can do for this, which is like boom, 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 and boom. It's just all mental game. It's really easy. Obviously, since I dropped my phone, it took me a little longer, but yeah. Now, I'm not a super pro at this, so I do take a long method to solve this, which could be my fault, but this is just, since the beginner method on this is much faster than on this, I'll just go ahead and do the long version, the one I know. Alright, so the process with this is to solve the white side and then the layer, which you'll actually solve the white side and the layer at the same time. And then you will solve the yellow side and then the layer, and then this layer, the second layer, whatever. So we'll go ahead and solve the white side. Took me a little long there, but as you can see, there's the white side. And then we do this algorithm, which usually takes a little bit to do. All the algorithm is like R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And then you would flip it around and, you check. I'm not going to do tutorials for these cubes, but, oh wait, here we go. Alright, so as you can see, we have the white side solved, the bottom layer solved, and the yellow side solved. And this whole thing, there's always going to be one side that's solved, unless you have, I guess, a parity. I did take time explaining this, but as you can see, I didn't have as much trouble solving this. That might just be biased, but final conclusion of the question, which one is harder, or is this thing harder than this, or is this thing easier than this? Final conclusion is that this thing is easier. Alright. Whenever my points, there's less combinations on it. You're actually limited on one of the axes. You're limited on, I guess, the x-axis. The y-axis, because you can't move it like this. There's 2 and there's 3. It doesn't line up. You can't do it. So yeah, that's all this video is. Yep. Alright. See you all later. Sorry I haven't been uploading very much, but, it's just a process.